Jo, you say execution over capital. How should a founder actually assess whether an investor can support execution, not just say they can? Going back to, you're having those early conversations with investors, what can founders do to get those signals that an investor can really help them with execution?
Yeah, I had an interesting experience where we had competing term sheets in our last round. And so we actually had to choose, which was very unexpected. And we chose based on real evidence that the investor could deliver on supporting us. They looked at the size of the team. You know, when they said, oh, we can support you and go to market, we asked questions like, how? And they said, we have this team of 3 people. This is what they do. This is how they support you. And I said, how do you help on sales? They were like, we have a guy dedicated to working with you on sales. And in fact, afterwards, they did, in fact, deliver, right? Because they had the people, they had the process. And we ultimately made the decision based on that. We said, okay, this is a company that can support us. And this is another company that we really like. We loved them. We thought they were amazing human beings. But they were going to be like hands off and let us go figure it out. And they just wanted out at the A, or that was really their objective versus the one we went with, which had a longer partnership in mind, right?
May I ask, Grace, on that topic that you said there, that because I'm very new to this entrepreneurship, this is our first venture, and when you go down a deal with that, where they provide certain services like the marketing or the sales, how's that factored into the relationship? Is there some kind of equity for those type of services as well as the investment they make, or how does it fit?
We're not paying for it, and it is meaningful help. But it's a very large fund with a longer timetable, right? I think part of the challenge is if you're new, which I was new into this world, I didn't even know what I was supposed to be looking for, right? Like, so even the dynamic, like that's why I said I'd love to have read Jo's article earlier, because I didn't even know I should be looking for that stuff. I just thought I was trying to get some money, right? From whoever gave it to me at the best terms as fast as possible. That was the original. That was my go-to-market. And it took, after we met with over 150 investors, I started to realize, wow, okay, there's some I really don't want to work with, and there's some that stand out. And now that article would, next time around, much better.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And that kind of speaks to, Grace, you made a comment about when founders that are going about their first ventures and starting to raise or look for capital by themselves, you are sometimes not in the position even knowing what to ask and what to look for, or what is possible to expect, right? And you get surprised in some of the conversations, which you should continue having conversations. I think the point there is, don't settle for the first or second or third conversations that you have. Go shopping, start learning and creating an inventory of what is possible. Start thinking about what you need, what the gaps of your business or your capabilities are that you could supplement with someone bringing in, to start finding that partnership and start really identifying what's the right level of partnership for you. Because something you said earlier as well is, you may be in a position where you only need the capital to get to a certain point, and that you're set and you're just needing financial support to get to where you want to be. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what what your outcome and your goal is. But shopping for that solution should be complementary pairing for both parties.